The Oxford Dictionary defines free will as the power to make your own choices without being controlled by God, fate, or circumstance. In other words, free will is the ability to decide for ourselves independent of outside influence. But here's the question: are our choices ever truly our own? Even if we are the one making the decisions, aren't those decisions still influenced by the world around us? After all, we are shaped by our upbringing, our friends, and our culture. In discussing free will, are we trying to take full control of every decision, trying to predict and manipulate every outcome, or are we searching for something a bit deeper, a more fundamental truth about who we are and why we choose what we do? And do we really have the power, or even the right, to act, speak, and think without restraint? So if we are to even attempt to answer this, we have to break it down a little bit. We start with an idea called freedom from. Freedom from means breaking away from social conditioning, the rules, values, and expectations that have been handed to us. It's not a rebellion, it's an awakening of sorts. When we become aware that we are more than the values imposed on us, we must then discover that there are moral truths of existence and live our lives accordingly. But freedom doesn't stop there. Then comes the freedom to act, to pursue our own values, to move, build, and to create. But there is a trap here. It's easy to confuse this idea with ego. We chase pleasure, avoid comfort, and call that free will. But acting purely on desires is not freedom, that is reaction. Here, we can learn something from the Stoics. True freedom is intentional. It's not just about what you want, it's about doing what you know is right. Finally, we arrive at the freedom to be, the deepest form of freedom. The freedom to live in alignment with truth and the self. Not chasing outcomes or avoiding pain, but accepting what is and still moving forward. Jean-Paul Sartre believed in radical free will, that we are completely free and responsible for our actions. Even though our actions are influenced by the past, we are not determined by it. He wrote, "Man is condemned to be free, because once thrown into the world, he is responsible for everything he does. It is up to you to give life meaning." Now, Friedrich Nietzsche believed in eternal recurrence, that we live the same life over and over again for eternity. This is similar to the first law of thermodynamics, which states that energy cannot be destroyed or created. Physics and philosophy become a bit more intertwined here, and we could explore this further, however I know very little about physics. Now, Nietzsche was inspired by several of his German predecessors, and the man who haunted me during my maths exams, Pythagoras, who all believed that, given enough time, everything is bound to reoccur. Nietzsche believed that humans would find greatness in the amor fati, the love of fate, a love of the idea that everything that has passed and has yet to pass is set. So Sartre believed that we are entirely responsible for our own actions. Even though our actions are influenced by the past, we are not determined by them. We always have the freedom to choose how we respond. Here we can connect radical free will to the growing block theory, the idea that the future is not real and that the only things that exist are the past and the present. Thus, the future has no control over freedom. Then there is Jorge Luis Borges, I think that's how you say his name, and he wrote, "It reasons that the present is indefinite, that the future has no reality other than as a present hope, that the past has no reality than a present memory." Here Borges is presenting an idea called presentism, and if we could prove this to be true, this would disprove Nietzsche's theory entirely. Presentism is the belief that only the present exists and is real, and that things like the past and the future are ideas that are created in the present. Now, this may sound similar to what Sartre believed, but we must remember that Sartre believed that the past was directly related to the present. So, Theories of time are deeply connected to each philosopher's perspective on free will. Whether time is predetermined, constantly becoming, or whether we are forever anchored in the present moment, all of these ideas shape how philosophers understand our ability to choose. Time frames the context in which decisions are made. If the future is already written, free will seems limited. If the present is all that's real, then choice becomes immediate and radical. So, understanding each philosopher's view on time can give us real insight into how they see human freedom and responsibility. Now, despite what I said earlier, I'm going to talk about physics. The Big Bang Theory suggests that everything started from a single point and expanded outward. Some theorize that the universe might eventually collapse and expand again, cycling infinitely. Now, if this were to be true, then maybe Nietzsche was right. But even the universe might have limits on recurrence. Lord Kelvin proposed an idea he called the heat death of the universe. This means that all matter and energy in the universe would be evenly distributed, resulting in uniform temperatures and no temperature difference to drive further process, meaning no more change and no more life. Now, Albert Camus saw free will in its rawest form in the power to choose, even in extreme scenarios. There is only one serious philosophical problem, and that is suicide. While not promoting suicide, Camus points out that merely having the option reflects the presence of free will. P.D. Ouspensky offered a unique twist on Nietzsche's eternal recurrence. He believed that, although we might be stuck reliving the same life over and over, it was possible to break through effort and awareness. His distinction between desire and will is captured in the line, "Desire is when you do what you want. Will is when you can do what you do not want." This shows belief in conscious effort as a path to freedom, even in a seemingly predetermined universe. Now, Ralph Waldo Emerson approached free will through the lens of self-reliance, encouraging independence from cultural expectations and faith in one's own intuition. His idea of non-conformity as true free will is summed up in his quote, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." And finally, Arthur Schopenhauer warned against over-reliance on external knowledge, especially books, as a way of avoiding genuine self-thinking. He believed this dependence could dull personal judgment, much like modern concerns with screen use. His skepticism mirrors Emerson's emphasis on independence. This ties free will as the ability to think and to decide for oneself. So, what does it take to become free? Well, we might never know for certain, as the tug-of-war between Sartre's radical choice and Nietzsche's eternal return will likely never be settled. But amid cosmic cycles and philosophical doubt, we still have a glimpse of hope. Thinkers like Ouspensky and Emerson remind us that even if we're constrained by systems like time or fate, we can still try, we can still resist, and we can still choose. True freedom may not be about unlimited options. It might be about having the courage to choose well from the options that we have. It may not be that we are born free. It may be that we become free, and that becoming takes effort. The effort to think for ourselves, to resist easy pleasures, to face uncomfortable truths, and choose with integrity even when the path is unclear. And with that, let me leave you with these words from Elia Kipchoge.
Only the disciplined ones are free in life. If you are in discipline, you are a slave to your moods. You are a slave to your passions.
Well, thank you for watching and for joining me at the start of what I hope will be a long and adventurous journey. I hope you found this video useful and thought-provoking, because someone has to, and it may as well be you. And until next time, remember this: one day we will all be stardust. So until then, you may as well subscribe.